Welcome to All or Nothing, a podcast from US Rowing where we dive into the stories behind the athletes, coaches, and moments shaping the sport of rowing. I'm your host, Kendall Stugart, and today we're taking you inside of one of the fastest growing disciplines in the sport, beach sprint rowing. Joining us are two people at the center of that rise. Chris Bak, four-time world champion and the most decorated beach sprint athlete in history. And Marc Oria, Chris's coach and a leader of the U.S. Beach Sprint national team. Together, they represent the athlete-coach partnership, driving success on the world stage and helping shape the future of the sport as it heads toward its Olympic debut. Chris, let's start with your journey. You previously competed in flat water as a lightweight rower, and Marc was the person who pushed you to try beach sprint rowing. Can you talk about that decision?
Yeah, at this point it seems like so long ago, but I started in traditional flat water as anybody might, with my local high school club, and then I ultimately ended up rowing club at University of Cincinnati, and was kind of switching between lightweight and heavyweight collegiate sweep, and that's where I ended up meeting Marc for the first time. I want to say in 2016, so it's been almost 10 years now that we've met, and he's been my coach. And right around 2021, I want to say 2020/2021, right in COVID era, I was working in a corporate role after graduation and kind of balancing rowing as well as training. And I wanted to take one more shot at the lightweight double in 2021. And I was with my
dreams, always dreams.
Yeah, chasing the dream. So I was with my partner at the time, Hilton Park. We raced. I want to say we ended up placing fifth, I think, at that Olympic trial. So didn't make the cut. And I knew I wanted to keep rowing, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was a lightweight, so I wasn't of the traditional physique or build of a heavyweight. And with Marc's background being from Spain, they had a lot of open water rowing and different types of rowing in Barcelona, especially during the summers at the time. And that is when I want to say one of the very preliminary world championships for beach sprints was going to take place. And he kind of just approached me and said, "Hey, with your background coming from tennis and soccer and skiing, previous sports that I had participated in," he said, I think you could be good at this. Let's give it a shot." And I tried out for the team, ended up making the team my first year. And I think I can come back to this story in a little bit, but after that first year, I was honestly ready to be done. But then at the World Championships, some things happened, and that completely changed the trajectory of my rowing career.
He's very humble, but he's really good.
So yeah, speaking of which, Marc, what qualities did you see in Chris that made you believe he could be a great beach sprint rower?
I mean, honestly, then you have to make Chris, and then you'll see very quick. I mean, of course he's extremely talented and very athletic. He's the type of athlete, that it's good at everything. He can run, he can play soccer or any other sports. He's always good at any sport. So that made him very adaptive. He can adapt really quick. He was very quick. I mean, background in tennis. I mean, he doesn't have to have that reflexes, that speed change and change direction. So and then knowing him, and we were trying for the lightweight double, and it was hard. I mean, the field is really hard, and Chris was struggling a little bit with the weight as well, to give the weight. So we never found that balance between the losing weight and performing. So it wasn't right, perfect sport for him. And World Rowing was pushing really into the sport after 2019, the first World Championship, no World Championship in 2020, and then World Rowing made a big push all around the world for the national teams to get teams ready. And then it's when we decided, I think Chris, you'd be the perfect. But honestly, knowing him from college, you see that he's there. The athlete was there from the beginning, and the I mean the time that he was pulling on there. I mean, you knew that he was an athlete. We just needed to make the journey, and he grew so much that I mean, you have it, 4-time world champion. So who can say that he's not an athlete? Or he's extraordinary. So it's easy to spot an athlete like Chris when here in Cincinnati. So it was really fun to work with as well.
Talking about, how Chris being humble. So last year in 2025, you made history with your third world title in the men's solo event, literally dominating by open water. What did that moment mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially in the middle of the race, you don't count your chickens before they hatch. You know, you wait till you cross that finish line. And I really wasn't thinking much about any of the previous history. You just focus on the task at hand. I think that's something within Marc's training that he has especially helped me with on the mental side. It's, it doesn't matter what people are thinking, what outside pressures there might be. All you can do, it doesn't matter if it's a preliminary time trial round or if it's the final of the world championship. You focus on the one race and the one task that you have right then and there. And once I kind of crossed that finish line, you always have a bit of a sense of relief. But I was able to line up against one of my great friends, Andrew Martin, and to be able to race against him, it was a dream come true because we've kind of both been involved in the sport since the beginning, and to be able to line up against a friend is something that's truly special, and you get to share that moment, and you hope as much for them as much for you as so you could both come home with the gold. Unfortunately, that's not the way that our sport is structured, but at the end of the day, it's something that you're really proud to be on the line with other people in the sport that have been able to be along and a part of that journey with you.
But let's also not forget about you earning silver in the mixed double. How did you adjust mentally and technically between racing solo and with a partner like mere hours later?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think leading into the race, it's something. I think you always lean on the training. Marc has I've kind of been his lab rat for many years, and he's developed
Yeah.
that's able to just repeat. And that's what we found has worked for us. For others, it might not, but it's something that you trust your training. But all props to Sarah. I think especially I haven't been in her shoes, but being able to watch doubles partner kind of cook themselves, for a lack of a better term, throughout the brackets of the single, but for her to still be able to have that trust um, and that pathway within getting to the finals for us, I think was something that was really special. And I knew that I was going to need to be able to lean on her just as much and know that she's fresh and ready to go and as an absolute unit. And so I think it was something that was really special to be able to race both races. And we were so close to a gold, but I think
So close.
it's something that there's another carrot dangling of we want that gold medal. That's the one we don't have yet. But to be able to get in the boat with Sarah was something truly amazing, and to be able to have 4 races back to back to back that were extremely close and extremely exciting, like that's what you hope for as an athlete, and just as a spectator as well. It doesn't matter. Obviously we prefer to be on the head side of the coin than the tail side of the coin, but to have truly close, tight, fun, fast racing is what you hope for, and you don't hope for anything less.
There's no regrets there. I mean, they give absolutely everything. So after time, I mean, of course, when they finished the race, they were a little bit pissed. I mean, they were a little bit mad, but that it's good. Keep that fire. But they gave absolutely everything. There's no regrets on that race. There's no regrets on finishing second. Of course, they feel bad because one wins, the other one is losing that race. But and me, the same as a coach, watching them racing and seeing, performing, and getting better and better every race. So that was very special to see when you see a team like Chris and Sarah racing in a boat that we never met before. which is extremely important, then seeing them grow during the competition, it was more relaxing for me from as a board handler and as a coach to see we're going in the right direction. So it's gonna be, we might get it, we might not, but we have the speed, we have the team is ready, and that's beautiful to watch them. It's I love them so much to see them how they race and how they perform and how they train. I mean, they prepare themselves for the 4 year for that. So that's so cool.
From your perspective, why do you think, or what makes Chris, so effective across both events?
Oh, I mean, Chris, I mean, we've been working together for a long time now. So, and as he mentioned, as a lab rat, no, I have to say, I have three lab rats. So one is Chris, of course, but the other one is my daughter, and the other one is myself. I never do anything. I never give them anything that I haven't done or do my research and try myself. So I keep doing some research. I think it's what keeps us moving forward is keep changing, keep improving, and keep trying new things. And then I always put it on Chris and my daughter. My daughter is a swimmer. It's not a rower, but she's a swimmer. And we keep trying things, and we research what works and what is not working, and that makes the way it is, Chris. The way it can handle the way one thing is the rowing, one thing is the of course the physical aspects of the sport, but of course I mean is the mental aspect that he has, that it I mean that the pain is there. He's gonna go for it no matter what, and repeat it, and he knows that it's not over till the last 30 seconds. So that's that makes him an animal.
You can argue it's kind of hard to teach the mental component. So yeah, I totally understand that. But Marc, you also, you work closely with athletes, not just in training, but also during competition, like literally even as a boat handler. So how do you use that kind of hands-on role and your presence as a boat handler to support your athletes?
I think in multiple ways. I I don't want to be behind the fence and just trying to hoping. I want to give. It makes me be better for them, to not make mistakes. I love to be there for them. I'm supporting them in everything I'm capable of. And if I have better board handlers, better than me, go for it. So we want the best. I want the best for the athletes, but I'll keep there pushing myself to give them my best as well. Being next to them, it makes a big difference to me. I'm there. I can talk to them as soon as they jump in the boat. I can communicate with them during a race or during a competition, which is really difficult. And I think as soon as we get more in competition in races and new world championship, new rules, there will be more restriction for coaches to communicate with the athletes. So being part of the board handler team, they allow me to be on the field, and that makes a big kind of a big difference. So being there is exciting. I'm living it with them.
Yeah, and may I even say, like, even dancing before waiting for the start.
Yes.
And I love that. I love your energy, during that. So, Chris, how do you think, that energy and environment kind of help you perform?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's something that I love as an athlete. And, Marc and I have mentioned a couple times that we've had a phenomenal relationship over the past 10 years. And it's something that we know works for us. It may not work for everyone, but to be loose, to be relaxed, to be able to enjoy the moment. And I think that's something that's special. It's everything we've done year over year over year, for whether it be training, whether it be racing. At the end of the day, that race, when you're at the line at that moment, is the cherry on top. It's the treat that we get as athletes. And it could make or break, your race or your event or whatever it might be. But to be able to be in the moment, to enjoy it, to be dancing on the beach, to with your teammates, with your coach, it's something that you kind of just pause for a moment and forget about the nerves of the race and the pressure of the race, and you just get to be able to be there with your coach, with your teammates, with the people that are close to you around you. And that's really what, in my opinion, racing is about, is being able to truly, truly enjoy all of the work and all of the process that you've put in before, and to be able to express that on race day is something that I think you rarely get to see in a lot of other sports. I think it's truly special about beach sprints.
Already at the top of the sport, how do you continue to push an athlete like that to continue to level up and improve?
I think it's important for them to understand the path. So it's not just one time. As Chris mentioned, I mean, he can explain the story of 2021. It would be nice to hear from him when it was just one thing. But I think it's to understand the steps of growing and building your career as is. Of course, that we need goals, myself included. So I need goals. Okay, what is the next goal? What is the next? So we need to create goals that they're achievable, that they're realistic, that makes them, we can push the athletes to that goal, to those um, aims, and chase those dreams. But yeah, I mean, Chris built that career from zero, from willing to quit the sport. So, and Chris can explain the 2021. So it was that's the journey. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and I think before I go dive into that story, I think one of Mark's superpowers is that connection. It's being able to believe in an athlete more than they believe in themselves, and that's ultimately what motivates you to achieve things you didn't think you were going to. And in 2021, when I was going into my first national team, I would think it was classic story. Like, I wanted to make the national team. I wanted to get the stars and stripes on my uni, and then hang up the oars for life and just kind of be done and retire. And I went to the World Championships, and I had no real gauge or expectation of what I wanted to do. I was going to be thrilled if I was able to place top 10. And next thing I know, I won the time trial. I want to say by 2 or more seconds. I want to say, I can't remember the exact time anymore, but ended up winning the time trial. And Mark's kind of like, hey, like poking at me, like, hey, you can win this thing. And I was like, oh yeah, thanks, but it still didn't register in my brain. And so then fast forward to the quarterfinals. I get to the quarterfinals, and I'm racing Giovanni Figura from Italy, another great coastal rower. And I get to the turn buoy, and there was a current and a wave that kind of just pushed me on the opposite side of the turn buoy, and I missed the buoy. And in a 2.5 minute race, whether you take the penalty or you try to back it and go back around the buoy like I did, you pretty much lose the race. And I knew that race was over, and the shot at potentially winning a world championship or coming home with a medal was over. And I got back to the beach, and obviously I was a bit frustrated just in myself, because I felt like I let the entire country down. I let the entire organization down. Those were just my internal feelings. And Mark kind of came to me once I calmed down a little bit, and he said, "Hey, you have the raw potential. You have the ability to do this." And again, it was that belief that he had before I even had that thought in my own mind. Fast forward to now, I would have never imagined the career that I've had so far. And it's not over yet. There's still one really big carrot that's dangling in 2028 that we still have yet to chase. But that's the goal. And I think in order for Mark to continue to have success as a coach, and for us to be able to have success as athletes, is somebody needs to believe in that dream first. And he's almost always the one to start believing in that dream first. And that there's so many accounts of my own personal career over the last 10 years, going from lightweight to trying to put on weight to trying to hit PR goals on 2Ks, whatever it is, there's always another goal. And somehow, and sometimes I regret saying this because Mark keeps moving the goalpost, and it's a great thing, but he's always moving that goalpost to achieve higher and push athletes further in the positive manner, and in a way that you start to believe it yourself. And then you look back at the track record of that belief that he had, and it's, oh my gosh, it's worked every single time. And so now I'm at this point, I'm 100% bought in. I think athletes, that work in any moment with him get bought in pretty quick. He's a fun, amazing coach, and is able to have that connection to create dreams again that you haven't had yourself. And then eventually you have this life and this dream that you're able to complete that you would have never thought is possible.
Now Chris is overpassing the goals that I was putting. So so yeah, he's ahead now. So now I need to create new goals and
Yeah. I mean, Marc, can I just hire you as like a life coach? I mean, come on.
I mean, I do it with my student. I mean, I'm a faculty here at the university, so yes, I'm a neuroscientist. Good. I'm a rowing coach. Yes, but I think it's mentoring. It's way more the impact that we can have as an athlete or a student, a PhD student. It's way more important that impact than just put it a grade or just making them do a job or a task. So it's the mentoring. It is what makes an impact. So it's just helping them to see their path. And I mean, Chris's path it's been amazing, and it's his path. And other athletes will have a different path, and the recommendation should be different from one athlete to another or one student to another. So it's and that's the beauty, and I love it. It's like a puzzle, and that I need to solve, and I need how I can connect with the others, how I can connect with Chris. And but Chris, I mean, he's always smiling. He's always in a good mood. I mean, I only see man game twice, but and one was my fault, so the other one.
Oh no.
So then it's easy to connect with someone that is open, completely open to do whatever it takes to get that dream, get that goal. So yeah, that's a fun part.
Clearly you can see, just by me talking to both of you, how strong your relationship is. And, ultimately that does make a massive difference. But I do, we talked about kind of like the mental aspect. So I want to switch gears just a bit. Beach sprints, they're incredibly fast and technical. So, Chris, what are kind of some key elements that you focus on?
Yeah, I think just being dynamic, being adaptable, I think is something that is extremely important. Personally, I struggle more so in flat water of replicating the same exact stroke 225 times over the course of 2K. It's something that's difficult for me to get that perfect stroke every time. We're still chasing it. It's I still love racing flat water, for example, but I think the dynamic nature of beach sprints is something that I really enjoy, and you never know what the ocean's going to throw at you, what your opponent's going to do, what the wind is going to do, if there's going to be a cruise ship that goes by and creates a wave. Like there's so many different elements that go into it, that being able to adapt and being able to work with the environment around you, I think is the ultimate thing that draws me, and I think kind of continues to help with that success. And I think the biggest thing in order to be prepared for those is putting yourself in situations that maybe won't happen on race day, but to be able to experience it and understand. And whether it's a disaster and you flip or whatever it might be, it's understanding, okay, how can I improve from that situation or that scenario within a racing or training environment. And I think that's the most important thing about beach sprints in my own opinion, or coastal endurance racing, is being adaptable to the environment or the changes that happen around you.
Marc, what about you? How do you prepare your athletes to adapt and perform when conditions are, constantly changing and completely out of your control?
I mean, of course, it's awareness. There is much more feeling of the water than in flat water, because the conditions are, as Chris said, they're changing completely all the time, and each stroke is different every single time. Um, so they need to be adaptive. They need to adapt all the time to what is out there. So the awareness, it's in not in 2 dimension, it's in 4 dimension. So it's the senses, it's and then the training plan needs to be there, some kind of self-awareness and awareness of the environment. It needs to be there in that training that makes them be adaptive and adapting to absolutely everything. I change. I mean, rowing is rowing. I mean, the training plan. People is asking me all the time about training plan. How what you do, what you change. So there's not much difference. So the training, the physical part, is there. It's very similar to what we're doing with flat water. We just need to tweak few things that makes that and a lot of times it's just creativity with some of the workouts that we are doing just to make them feel more confident in resolving an issue when they face it during the regatta, so or during a race or a training. So it's just, but it's not there's not that much magic like say, oh, what you have. So it's no, I mean, it's just the training plan. The physical parts are not that different, not as much as different as people think they are. Yeah, of course. I mean, we have running. We have to get in a boat, so there are few tweaks that involve each part of the sport. But it's not the physical training, because the amount of time that we are training, the miles that we're rowing, and everything, the case that we are rowing, it's very similar. Yeah.
So the Olympic debut of beach sprint rowing at LA 28. Chris, when you think about that kind of long-term goal, how have you approached it up to this point, and kind of how are you continuing to build toward it?
Yeah, I think it's always in the back of your mind of, that's the goal, that's the dream. It's sometimes it's a little bit tough because every year we have the World Championships, and some could argue that sometimes the World Championships have the same, if not harder, competition than the Olympics. But the Olympics is once every 4 years, and you may repeat 3, 4 times, but the one time you need to, it may or may not happen. So that always kind of lives in your head. But I think you kind of need to tuck that away, and you need to tell yourself that everything that got you to this point and that will get you to that future goal and that future point that you're striving for is the work you've been doing day in and day out. And that's what you can't forget is that dream doesn't happen tomorrow, it happens today. So it's, what are you going to do today in order to take a step forward? And there may be days where you take a step backward or 3 steps backward, or you get sick and you're out for a week. Like, those things happen, but it's really controlling kind of that mental side of it that I think is the most important internal dialogue that you can have. And then, of course, surrounding yourself with a community, with coaches, with teammates, with friends that also are able to share, support you in that dream, I think is extremely, maybe even more important than be able to balance that mental and physical training on your own. But to have that network that also believes in you, I think is the thing that's going to get you out of bed on those hard days. It's going to be, the thing that pushes you through when you're down and you don't want to go out to the boathouse or whatever, those struggles or trials, tribulations may be. That network is what's going to be able to help you achieve that dream.
As we wrap up here, I'd love to ask you both a few of the same questions. So first and foremost, how do you see the U.S. stacking up internationally as this sport continues to grow?
I mean, we are growing. We've been doing so in the last 5 years. We built a program that we didn't have, and we've been extremely successful. And we are, of course, I want more. I have a dream from the beginning, and Chris know about it. Is I want to medal in every single event. I haven't achieved that goal. We were really close, but we have a medal in every single event. So that's my short-term, mid-term goal, is at the World Championship to medal in every single event. And that can happen is when the pool of athletes are there, they're coming from the base, U19, U23s, and the senior team is when the pool is big and we have enough great athletes to trying and racing each other. So I think that will happen. It's a matter of time. LA is going to be the cherry on top, of course, for the next few years. So I think LA is going to be a massive change. But not just LA. These 2 years that we already see more interest, having more events in the US that we need. More equipment is arriving into the US that we didn't have before, and because we need to cover all this coastline with rowing clubs and trying the sport. and all these lakes in the middle of the country. So we have a huge, massive potential, and we are just at the beginning of ramping up exponentially. So after LA is going to be when really, after getting these three medals, these three gold medals in LA, then we will ramp up a massive program
Game
for the
on.
US. Yes, game on.
Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I think from the athlete's perspective, it's something that we'd love to see more and more momentum, more and more growth through within the sport. And it's, every day we go in training that each year is going to get harder leading into the Olympics, which is our main goal. But again, we have to focus on the task at hand each and every day. And I think that, again, it's something super exciting to be able to kind of see the sport in its infancy and each year grow more and more. And to be a part of that is truly something special. And to, have junior athletes be able to come up and say, "Oh my gosh, like I watched your race." Like that's something I never really thought of, like as an athlete, but it's really cool and really inspiring that, maybe you make that little bit of difference in somebody's vision and somebody's dream. And that's like, it's super special. And I think it's the most rewarding thing that you can have as an athlete. So year over year, every country is going to continue to develop their team, including our own. And you just have to be prepared for it and willing to take on the challenge and the task at hand.
You mentioned also earlier that you're close friends with Andrew Martin from Spain. And, something that's just has really stuck out to me is that beach sprints have just such a special camaraderie across countries and teams. So for both of you, the same question, what do you think makes beach sprints like such a unifier?
Yeah, I think I think there's a couple different factors. I think number one is it's head-to-head racing. I mean, you literally are standing next to looking your opponent dead in the eye, and there's nothing to be had, in my opinion, except for respect for one another. You're both at that line. You both deserve to be there, and you're both going to race as hard as you possibly can. Doesn't matter what the result is, but I think ultimately everybody also has a respect for the ocean. I think we've all been in situations where you may be the fastest, strongest, quickest athlete that is projected to be on the water at any given race, but the ocean is going to determine who wins that race. And from an athlete's mentality, I think going into it, you really have a kind of a subconscious respect for of you may go out there, get hit by a wave, and you could be leading by a minute in a 2-minute race, and you could fall off your seat or something, and that's the end of your race. So I think it's a sport that honestly naturally kind of brings each other together as a competitor standpoint. But it's also something that, when you're racing head to head, you never know that the coin can get flipped in a drop of a hat. And I think the other thing that's kind of maybe a little bit obvious, but you're on a beach. I mean, who's not happy being on the beach, running around in the ocean, enjoying music, enjoying dancing, enjoying the sun? So it's truly something that I think you can really be loose and be yourself, and be able to have that camaraderie with your competitors, your teammates, and your coaches.
It's gonna get more. It's gonna get more competitive for sure as the years and the teams are building. It's our job to continue having that vibes, that beach vibes, that enjoying the time to and respect of the of everybody that you're racing. So I think it's our job to continue pushing that camaraderie, as you mentioned, that we need it to be. So it's very not only in beach sprint, in coastal as well. So coastal, I mean, you have these races with 16 boats racing each other, yelling each other, and as soon that boat touches the sand, the race is over, everybody's congratulating each other, hanging each other. So that's the vibes. That's coming. Mountain biking is happening the same. So as soon as you're done with your race, everybody's hanging out together. So that's the part of the, and I think it's because, as Chris mentioned, everything can happen. So it's not just you are the best athlete, that's why you are winning. It just, a lot of things can happen in every race. So we understand each other, each athlete understand each other, they have respect for each other, and that makes, at the end of the race, they always wait for each other to congratulate or to shake hands and make a big hug at the end of the regatta and of the race, and that's it, and it's over. The winner is the winner. But that they see that respect. And it's our job to continue that, coaches included. So I need to continue promoting to the younger athletes and all the athletes that's what they deserve.
If any two people can continue to push the camaraderie and respect, it's definitely you both. So we'll wrap up here with one last question for you both. What impact do you hope to have on the sport of beach sprint rowing?
That's
A loaded question, right?
That's a loaded, yeah.
It's something I always think about, and I think a lot of times I get asked, what is your career outlook? What are you going to do post rowing? I think I've been pretty public about 28 is likely my last run. Marc maybe hates that idea, but we've talked about it. And I think at the end of the day, it's something that I hope leaves an inspiration and leaves the sport better and as a pathway for people that maybe didn't necessarily envision it as a possibility. And I speak more from the heart on that one, just because it's something that I maybe didn't have the 6'5", 215 pound build that you might, get overlooked at some programs with a traditional flat water build. And that's not to say that that's a bad model. It's a model that works. And if you have that, 100% go chase it. But as an athlete that was chasing lightweight, that came from a club program that is 6 feet tall, 180 pounds, it's not something that necessarily I was able to kind of look at and be like, oh yeah, that's a definite path. And so this has been able to be a path for my own rowing career and my own professional career that I never thought would have been possible. And I think being able to continue and to make sure that that's a path for any athlete that wants to get involved, no matter their background, no matter the financial status, like that is something that I think is extremely important to me is to be able to continue to grow and understand that this is a platform for anyone. And I think it's a big part of that is because of that beach culture that has been instilled in the entire community. It's, hey, let's have that and let's enjoy it. And let's make sure that we have a platform and a side of the sport that we can truly, truly enjoy and love.
I would say I might have two. One as a coach and one as a mentor. So the one as a coach, I think I would love to have an impact worldwide, demonstrating that it's a community, that the community is together. So I'm part of World Rowing Development, helping developing the sport all around the world, helping other national teams to create their programs, helping training together. With Chris, we've been doing camps with other national teams. And one of the most amazing camps that we had was with New Zealand. We had an amazing camp before the World Championship in Barletta. And the second one as a mentor, it's more to not lose the path of the sport for athletes. I hate seeing, or it hurts, not hate, but it hurts seeing athletes stepping out from the sport, any sport, because they are burned out or because they don't have the good relationship with the sport or with the coaches or anything. So I would love that beach sprint in this case would be a path for these rowers that we are losing after college, or these athletes that we're losing when they move into college. So that beach sprint is a good way, is a path for continue enjoying the sport and continue enjoying rowing and continue loving training and loving the sport. So two big impacts.
Well said, both of you. And like I said before, if there's two people that can do those things, it's definitely you both. Thank you so much for your time today. This has been so much fun and so wonderful.
That was really fun, Kendall. So that was amazing. Thank you.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Bye. Thank you.
From world championship success to building toward the Olympic stage, it's clear that beach sprint rowing is entering a very new, exciting era. Thank you for listening to All or Nothing. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, share it with someone in the rowing community, and stay tuned for more conversations with athletes and coaches shaping the future of the sport. Until then, chase speed, find yourself, and we'll see you next time on All or Nothing.